I was just sitting up in my tree, in my tree. I saw a beautiful face was looking up at me, up at me, up at me. Oh, she had a cute smile, so I asked her name, asked her name, asked her name. Oh, I got to talking since she felt the same, and she felt the same, felt the same. Well, every time I see her, I do my thing. Well, now she's by my side, it's where she wants to be, where she wants to be, it's where she wants to be. She's cooking us a chicken with a jug of tea.
A jug of tea.
Oh,
A
yeah.
jug of tea.
I'm thankful for the day she knocked on my door. I'm thankful for the day she knocked on my door. And I never thought I'd fall for the girl next door. And I never thought I'd fall for the girl next door. And every time I see her, I do my thing. Every time I see her, I do my thing. And every time I see her, I do my thing.
Armadillo, ring-a-ting-tang. Armadillo, ring-a-ting-tang.
Woohoo!
Vroom, vroom.
Greeting, winged scouts!
Hey, it's Commander Airhead.
Hi, Commander Airhead.
Gumdrop, Vroomer, it's time for our annual time-honored Planes with Brains contest, where young plane teams compete for the chance to win the prestigious Planes with Brains Award. Your mission, Gumdrop and Vroomer, is to discover all about the most fascinating machine of all.
Planes!
Planes.
Exactly! You will travel all over the world, across time, space, and beyond. You must keep your little metal noses pointed ahead, your motors humming, and your wings perked at all times. We depend on you to do the best job possible. Are you ready for your assignment?
Wow, my little wings are fluttering with thrills.
My little motor is vroom, vroom. Vrooming with excitement.
Plane Scouts ready for our mission, Commander Airhead.
This is sure to be a challenging mission, little ones.
Fluffy white clouds? I love challenging missions.
Brilliant blue skies. Me too.
I'm sending you two on a mission to learn about the history of planes.
The history of planes? How cool!
Can't wait.
It's up to you to learn all about it and report back to me with what you've discovered.
Flapping fun wings!
This is going to be an incredible adventure.
What can you tell us about the history of planes, Commander Airhead?
Well, the desire to create a flying machine is as old as humankind. But it wasn't until 200 years ago that the true concept of an airplane came to be.
Wow, I can't wait to find out more.
The history of airplanes sounds absolutely amazing.
As you know, Vroomer and Gumdrop, to win the annual Planes with Brains contest, you must find out and learn tons of amazing facts about airplanes.
Yes, Commander Airhead.
Vroom, vroom. We will.
Excellent! You must also know that there is a question that all the brightest flying minds all over the world's skies have not been able to answer about the history of airplanes. We need you two winged scouts to help us answer the who flew question about the history of airplanes.
Who flew question? Love it! What is the question, Commander Airhead?
When did the first and longest unmanned aircraft flight take place?
That's a great question, Commander Airhead.
We'll land the answer in a spin of a propeller. I'm sure.
I will assign you the best winged scout helper in the world. His name is Willie Widget. He's a robotic encyclopedia of aircraft knowledge. He will assist you on your mission.
Willie Widget?
We love Willie Widget.
Be sure to ask a lot of questions, Winged Scouts. The prestigious Planes with Brains Award is up for grabs.
Yay! Winged Scouts ready to fly, Commander Airhead.
Winged Scouts!
Vroom, vroom.
Hooray!
Winged Scouts! Ready to get started on your next adventure?
Yes, super ready.
Totally ready.
Remember, Winged Scouts, any and all questions you have, I'm here to answer them.
Where do we begin?
Back in time, more than 2,000 years ago in Greece. You see, ancient people were inspired by the observation of birds soaring through the sky and designed aircrafts that copied the beating of a bird's wings. These machines are known as ornithopters. With ornithopters, the flapping wings generated both lift and propulsion. One of the earliest known examples of this type of machine is the wooden bird, designed by Greek scientist, philosopher, and mathematician Archytas of Tarentum in 400 BC. Even though some of these ancient machines took off for a few short flights, they remain impractical.
Whoa!
To trace the beginning of the history of flight, we have to travel in time all the way to the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries. Let's take a tour around Europe and meet some of the great thinkers who paved the way for the evolution of airplanes.
Yeah!
In Italy, the Netherlands, and England, mathematicians, scientists, and inventors like Leonardo da Vinci, Galileo Galilei, Christian Huygens, and Isaac Newton all contributed the first research into aerodynamics.
What's aerodynamics, Willy Widget?
Aero means air, and dynamics means motion. So, aerodynamics deals with the dynamics of air as it interacts with solid objects, like an airplane. Did you know you two guys experience aerodynamics every time you fly?
Incredible! Hit my plane brain with more cool factoids, Willy Widget.
It wasn't until the turn of the 18th century when an English baronet named George Cayley turned flying theory into reality by being the first to focus his attention on fixed-wing aircrafts, like modern airplanes, as opposed to the earlier aircrafts with beating wings like birds. He was a pioneer of aeronautical engineering who in 1804 flew the first successful flying glider, or a non-motor powered flying machine, on record.
Blasting engines. That's amazing.
In 1853, George Cayley launched and flew the first glider ever recorded to carry a person on board.
Very interesting.
What happened next, Willy Widget?
Excellent question, Gumdrop. In the 1870s, Otto Lilienthal, a German mechanical engineer, followed in Cayley's footsteps and launched a series of very important studies on wing design. Lilienthal designed, built, and flew a number of monoplane and biplane gliders, accomplishing as many as 2,000 flights between 1890 and 1896.
Whoa! Fun factoid. But how did we get from those really cool gliders to winged airplanes with engines like us, Willy Widget?
That's a very good question, Vroomer. Let's take a trip to the United States and meet the Wright brothers.
Woohoo!
The Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur, were two American inventors and aviation pioneers who built and flew the world's first successful airplane. Their lifelong dream came true when Orville took to the sky in the first ever motor-powered, heavier-than-air aircraft called the Flyer on December 17, 1903, 4 miles south of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina.
What was the Flyer made of, Willy Widget?
The Flyer was made using a strong and lightweight wood from the giant spruce tree as the main construction material, and muslin, a lightweight cotton cloth, was used for surface coverings. Even the Flyer's propellers were made of wood.
Whoa, Willy Widget. Factoid cooler than rain clouds after a spring shower.
How was the Flyer powered, Willy Widget?
Excellent question, Vroomer. Orville and Wilbur had a gasoline engine fabricated in their bicycle shop just for the Flyer. The engine was fairly simple in construction, but it provided exactly the power required to propel their aircraft.
What about steering and piloting these early planes, Willy Widget?
Very good question, Vroomer. I see you are paying attention. During the second half of the 19th century, aircrafts had used a steering gear for yaw control, which is directing the plane's nose to the left and right. Cayley was the first to create an elevator for control in pitch, which is the directing of a plane's nose up or down. It was finally the Wright brothers who devised a system they called wing warping, which allowed the pilot control over the movement of the wings.
Were the Wright brothers the only ones who created aircrafts around this time?
They were the first to successfully fly one, but definitely not the only ones to do so. Let's take a tour of Europe at the beginning of the 20th century, and we'll find aviators like Brazilian-born Alberto Santos Dumont, who made the first public flight in Europe in 1906, and the Frenchman Henri Farman, who made his first successful attempt at flight the following year in 1907.
Whoa, what happened after that, Willy Widget?
As World War I approached, the governments of various countries foresaw the potential of warplanes during wartime. Airplane production and improvements in aerodynamics surged. Construction of aircrafts increased along with the power of the aircraft's motor. Planes also became faster and capable of flying higher. During the First World War, airplane speeds increased to 130 miles per hour, and aerial battles were taking place at the incredible altitude of 20,000 feet.
Wow! Tooting turbines! That's incredible!
After the war, there were a lot of airplanes waiting for their next assignment. Many of them were converted for commercial use. Even the U.S. Post Office jumped on board and launched its first airmail in 1918. Imagine how fast mail got delivered now, with the help of commercial planes. Sending mail by plane allowed parcels to get from coast to coast 22 hours sooner.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Aviation's improvements continued in earnest, and in 1927, inventor, writer, and aviator Charles Lindbergh completed the first non-stop continent-to-continent flight ever. He flew from New Jersey to Paris in 33 hours, all by himself. Suddenly, Americans took an interest in aviation like never before. Passenger flight became all the rage, and a lot of companies invested into the aviation industry. The world just became smaller and smaller as people could travel from continent to continent in just a few hours as opposed to months.
Cool skies.
Nowadays, aviation has created amazing opportunities around the world for even more technological advances.
When did the first and longest unmanned aircraft flight take place, Willy Widget?
Ah, yes! The record goes to the amazing Global Hawk, developed by NASA. In 2001, the Global Hawk was the first airplane to accomplish the longest point-to-point flight by an unmanned aircraft ever.
Hey, Gumdrop! I think we just found out the answer to Commander Airhead's Who Flew question.
You're right, Vroomer. The record goes to the amazing Global Hawk developed by NASA.
Ha! Congratulations on finding the answer to this mission's Who Flew question, Winged Scouts. Commander Airhead will be proud of you. No pistons about it.
Fantastic work, Winged Scouts! Your mission was a great success! You're well on your way to winning the prestigious Planes with Brains Award!
Awesome!
Say, were you able to find the answer to this mission's Who Flew question?
Yes, Commander Airhead, we sure did.
The record goes to the amazing Global Hawk developed by NASA.
The first and longest unmanned aircraft flight was achieved by the Global Hawk in 2001.
That's great! Good job, Winged Scouts!
What's our next mission, Commander Airhead?
Your next mission is going to be your most incredible yet. We want you to learn about how planes fly.
How planes fly? Wow! Cool!
For all the bumpy flights, can't wait to get started.
Yay! Wing Scouts ready to fly, Commander Airhead.
Winged Scouts!
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Hooray!
Gumdrop, Vroomer, as we know, there are no limits to what we can learn. Considering you two did so well last time, I have another adventure for you. Your mission, Gumdrop and Vroomer, is to discover all about the most fascinating machine of all.
Planes!
Planes!
Exactly! You will travel all over the world, across time, space, and beyond. You must keep your little metal noses pointed ahead, your motors humming, and your wings perked at all times. We depend on you to do the best job possible. Are you ready for your assignment?
As ready as we'll ever be, Commander.
We were born ready.
Plane Scouts, ready for our mission, Commander Airhead.
This is sure to be a challenging mission, little ones.
Is there any other kind?
The more challenging, the better.
Glad to hear it, because I'm sending you two on a mission to learn how do planes fly.
How do planes fly? Cool.
Can't wait.
It's up to you to learn all about it and report back to me with what you've discovered.
Depart to Discovery.
Looking forward to navigating all those factoids.
What can you tell us about how planes fly? What are the mechanics of flight, Commander Airhead?
Well, a plane's engines are designed to move it forward at high speed. That makes airflow rapidly over the wings, throwing the air down toward the ground and generating an upward force called lift that overcomes the plane's weight and holds it in the sky. So it's the engines that move a plane forward while the wings move it upward.
Wow! I can't wait to find out more.
How do planes fly? Sounds absolutely amazing!
As you know, Vroomer and Gumdrop, to be the best research planes you can be, you must find out and learn tons of amazing facts about airplanes.
Yes, Commander Airhead!
Vroom, vroom. We will.
Excellent! You must also know there is a question that all the brightest flying minds all over the world's skies have not been able to answer about how planes fly. We need you two winged scouts to help us answer the who flew question about how planes fly.
Who flew question? Love it! What is the question, Commander Airhead?
What is the fastest passenger aircraft ever built? And what engine does it use?
That's a great question, Commander Airhead.
We'll land the answer in a spin of a propeller, I'm sure.
I will assign you the best winged scout helper in the world. His name is Willie Widget. He's a robotic encyclopedia of aircraft knowledge. He will assist you on your mission.
Awesome android!
We always love flying with Willie Widget.
Be sure to ask a lot of questions, winged scouts. Willie knows it all.
Yay! Wing Scouts ready to fly, Commander Airhead.
Winged Scouts.
Ring, ring!
Hooray!
Winged Scouts! Ready to get started on your next adventure?
Yes, super ready.
Totally ready!
Remember, Winged Scouts, any and all questions you have, I'm here to answer them.
Where do we begin?
Once upon a time, the two brothers, Wilbur and Orville Wright, made 4 brief flights with their first powered aircraft at Kitty Hawk. The Wright brothers successfully invented the first airplane to fly on December 17, 1903. Orville piloted the gasoline-powered propeller-driven biplane, which stayed in the air for 12 seconds and covered 120 feet on its first flight.
Whoa!
To trace the first flight over and learn more about the mechanics of flying, we need to travel back in time to 1903 to witness this first successful flight to ever take place. Let's go visit the designers of the mechanics of the early planes.
Yeah!
In Germany, German engineer Otto Lilienthal studied aerodynamics and worked to design a glider that would fly. He was the first person to design a glider that could fly a person and was able to fly long distances. Samuel Langley, an astronomer, realized that power was needed to fly. He built a model of a plane which he called an aerodrome, which included a steam-powered engine. In 1891, his model flew for 3/4 of a mile before running out of fuel.
What's a glider, Willie Widget?
A glider is a light aircraft that is designed to fly without using an engine. So, a glider performs the act of gliding through the air. Do you know that you two guys glide every time you fly?
Incredible! Hit my plane brain with more cool factoids!
In 1903, the Wright brothers designed the first airplane engine, which was a 4-cycle engine called the Wright Flyer.
Blasting engines! That's amazing!
In the 1930s, Hungarian engineer Georgi Gendrasik designed the Gendrasik CA-1, the first functional turboprop engine. The engine was intended for the Hungarian twin-engine Varga RMI-1 reconnaissance bomber.
Very interesting!
What happened next, Willie?
Excellent question, Gumdrop. In 1911, after the Wright brothers visited France, Alessandro Anzani, an Italian living in France, was inspired to start designing airplane engines. He designed a series of 3-cylinder engines that produced anywhere from 10 to 50 horsepower, including the 25-horsepower engine that powered Louis Blériot's XI airplane across the whole English Channel in 1909.
Whoa! Fun factoid! So how did we go from these slow planes to the very fast airplanes we have today?
That's a very good question, Vroomer. In the late 1920s in France, the Gnome-Rhone Mistral Major, also known as the 14K, was a 2-row radial engine that was, for a time, the most powerful engine ordered in large numbers on the planet. It gave an amazing output, surpassing the outputs of most other European engines.
Woohoo!
What types of planes was the Gnome-Rhone 14K engine used for, Willie Widget?
The Gnome-Rhone 14K engine was used in more than a dozen different airplane types and was available in a large number of different variants on the continent and beyond.
Whoa, Willie! Factoid cooler than rain clouds after a spring shower.
What engine type was used to power the Apollo 11 spaceship, Willie?
Excellent question, Vroomer. The Apollo 11 spaceship in 1969 completed the famous lunar mission and was powered by the Rocketdyne F1, which was developed in the 1950s.
What kind of engine was the Rocketdyne F1, Willie Widget?
Very good question, Vroomer. I see you are paying attention. The Rocketdyne F1 was the most powerful liquid fuel propulsion system ever built and put out 1.5 million pounds of thrust. 5 F1s were used for each Saturn V rocket launch, with each engine burning more than 400 gallons of liquid oxygen per second, approximately 5,000 times the amount of a high-powered jet engine used on commercial airliners today.
What does it take to make an airplane go 7,000 miles per hour?
According to NASA's X-43 in 2004, the answer is supersonic combustion ramjet, or scramjet, technology which allows ultra-high-speed aircraft traveling faster than Mach 4 to get their oxygen straight from the atmosphere, as opposed to relying on an onboard supply of heavy oxidizer or a traditional turbine engine, making them faster.
Whoa, how fast can they go?
According to research, the scramjet technology could someday help aircrafts to travel as much as 15 times the speed of sound, turning a normal 18-hour flight from New York City to Tokyo into a 2-hour journey.
Whoa! Tooting turbines! That's incredible!
Over the years, many new airplanes and engines have been developed to help transport people, luggage, cargo, military personnel, and weapons from one place to another in record time. But it is great to note that all this is only possible and based on the first engines built by the Wright brothers from Ohio.
Woo!
Yay!
The mechanics of flight have improved over the years. The AN-225 holds the title of the biggest commercially used freighter in the world. Powered by 6 turbofan engines, it is the biggest heavier-than-air aircraft in terms of length and wingspan in operational service. It is able to carry up to 250 tons of cargo, which is the same as the average weight of 52 mature elephants. That's some heavy plane.
Cool skies.
Nowadays, people can get from one end of the world to the other in the shortest of times due to the improvements of airplane engines.
What is the fastest passenger aircraft ever built, and what engine does it use, Willie?
Ha ha! The supersonic Tupolev Tu-144, produced by Tupolev OKB between 1968 and 1984, is the fastest passenger plane ever built. The plane was powered by 4 Kolosov RD-3651 turbojet engines, with a maximum speed of 1,510 miles per hour.
Hey, Gumdrop! I think we just found the answer to Commander Airhead's Who Flew question.
You're right, Vroomer. The record goes to the supersonic Tupolev Tu-144, built by Tupolev OKB.
Congratulations on finding the answer to this mission's Who Flew question, Winged Scouts. Commander Airhead will be proud of you. No pistons about it.
Fantastic work, Winged Scouts! Your mission was a great success! You two are a super turbo team!
Vroom, vroom. Awesome!
Say, were you able to find the answer to this mission's Who Flew question?
Yes, Commander Airhead, we sure did.
The record goes to the supersonic Tupolev Tu-144, built by Tupolev OKB.
The fastest passenger plane was powered by 4 Kolsov RD-3651 turbojet engines with a maximum speed of 1,510 miles per hour.
That's great! Great job, Winged Scouts!
What's our next mission, Commander Airhead?
Your next mission is going to be your most incredible yet. We want you two to learn about fighter planes.
Fighter planes. Wow, cool.
For all the bumpy flights, can't wait to get started.
Yay! Winged Scouts ready to fly, Commander Airhead.
Winged Scouts!
Vroom, vroom.
Hooray!
Fighter plane fun. This is gonna be a blast.
My wings are all aflutter.
That's why I like you, Winged Scouts. You're always up for the challenge. Gumdrop, Vroomer, you are 2 of the best answer finders in our fleet. And today, I have another research task for you guys. Your mission, Gumdrop and Vroomer, is to discover all about the most fascinating machine of all time.
Planes!
Planes.
Exactly! Haha! You will travel all over the world, across time, across space, and beyond. You must keep your little metal noses pointed ahead, your motors humming, and your wings perked at all times. We depend on you to do the best job possible. Are you ready for your assignment?
I'm loopity-loopy to get started.
We'll vroom to the answers, Commander.
Let's fly.
This is sure to be a challenging mission, little ones.
Clear skies and high mountaintops. I love challenging missions.
Golden Dawn Horizons. Me too.
I'm sending you two on a mission to learn about fighter planes.
Fighter planes? How cool.
Can't wait.
It's up to you to learn all about them and report back to me with what you've discovered.
Flapping fun wings.
This is going to be an incredible adventure.
What can you tell us about fighter planes, Commander Airhead?
Well, the fighter planes are built mainly for air-to-air combat against other aircraft, which is contrasting to bombers and attack planes, whose main mission is to attack ground targets. The advantages of a fighter are its speed, maneuverability, and small size relative to other combat aircraft. The first fighter plane was built as far back as during World War I.
Wow, I can't wait to find out more.
Fighter planes. Sounds absolutely amazing.
As you know, Vroomer and Gumdrop, to overturn every stone you can, you must find out and learn tons of amazing facts about airplanes.
Yes, Commander Airhead.
Vroom, vroom, we will.
Excellent. You must also know there is a question that all the brightest flying minds all over the world's skies have not been able to answer about fighter planes. We need you two Winged Scouts to help us answer the who flew question about fighter planes.
Who flew question? Love it. What is the question, Commander Airhead?
Who flew the first fighter plane? And when?
That's a great question, Commander Airhead.
We'll land the answer in a spin of a propeller, I'm sure.
I will assign you the best Winged Scout helper in the world. His name is Willie Widget. He's a robotic encyclopedia of aircraft knowledge, and he will assist you on your mission.
Bring on Willie.
We want Willie Widget.
Be sure to ask a lot of questions, Winged Scouts. No facts get by Willie, no matter how small.
Yay! Winged Scouts ready to fly, Commander Airhead.
Winged Scouts.
Vroom, vroom.
Hooray! way.
Winged Scouts, ready to get started on your next adventure?
Yes, super ready.
Totally ready.
Remember, Winged Scouts, any and all questions you have, I'm here to answer them.
Where do we begin?
Many years ago, fighter planes were described as two-seater aircrafts with sufficient lift to carry the pilot, a machine gun, and its operator. Many countries, especially the British, tried early on to build gun-mounted airplanes, but faced a series of drawbacks such as speed and where to mount the machine gun. One of the earliest built was the Vickers FB-5 gun bus by the British in 1914, but it was considered ineffective due to a lot of drawbacks and subsequently abandoned. It wasn't until March 1915 that the French aviator Roland Garros flew a modified monoplane that successfully downed the first aircraft in history.
Whoa!
To follow the advancement of the fighter plane throughout history, we have to travel back in time and visit some of the greatest minds who started the early revolution of fighter planes.
Yeah!
During World War I, many countries like Britain, France, and Germany all contributed to the early efforts to build the first fighter planes. Some used monoplanes, others biplanes.
What's the difference between a monoplane and a biplane, Willie?
A monoplane has one main supporting surface or a single wing on either side of the body, while a biplane has two sets of two supporting wings. The body of the machine is between the two places.
Incredible! Hit my plane brain with more cool factoids, Willy Widget.
In Germany in 1913, a Swiss engineer, Franz Schneider, patented a device with a forward-firing gun whose bullets passed through the propeller arc and could time the firing of the individual rounds to avoid hitting the propeller blades. But his original work was not followed up.
Blasting engines? Oh, tell me more.
French aircraft designer Raymond Saulnier patented a practical device in April 1914. But trials were unsuccessful because the machine gun design repeatedly jammed during firing because of defective ammunition.
Very interesting.
What happened next, Willie?
In December 1914, Roland Garros, a French pilot, asked Saulnier to mount his synchronization gear on his Morane Saulnier Type L aircraft. Unfortunately, the gas-operated Hotchkiss machine gun he was given had an erratic firing rate, and it was difficult to synchronize with a spinning propeller.
Wow! Fun factoid! So how was he able to solve the problem?
That's a very good question, Vroomer. In 1915, Roland Garros modified his monoplane propeller blades with armor fitted with metal wedges to protect the pilot from ricochets, and he began combat operations soon thereafter. Garros scored 3 victories in 3 weeks before he himself was downed on the 18th of April, and his airplane, along with its synchronization gear and propeller, was captured by the Germans.
Oh no!
So, was that how the Germans got the secret to fighter planes, Willy Widget?
The Germans forced a Dutch aircraft manufacturer, Anthony Fokker, whose factory was nearby, to inspect the fighter plane and replicate the design. Fokker and his engineers did as they were told and built the first machine gun fighter planes for the Germans.
Whoa, Willy Widget! Factoid cooler than rain clouds after a spring shower.
Did the German fighter planes work as well as the French fighter planes, Willy Widget?
Excellent question, Vroomer. Anthony Fokker and his engineers came up with a better design. They built a machine gun whose rate of fire was controlled by the turning of the propeller. This synchronization assured that the bullets would pass harmlessly through the empty space between the propeller blades.
So, was Roland Garros the only pilot to shoot down planes during World War I, Willie Widget?
Very good question, Vroomer. I see you are all ears. The first victory for the Germans came on the 1st of July, 1915, when Lieutenant Kurt Winkens, flying the Fokker Eindecker monoplane with the Fieldflieger Abteilung 6 unit on the Western Front, forced down a Morane-Saulnier Type L 2-seat Parasol monoplane, just east of Luneville. He was the second pilot to shoot down a plane.
What happened after that, Willie Widget?
The success of the Eindecker gave rise to a competitive cycle of improvement among combatants. Both sides tried to build even more capable single-seat fighters. The Albatross D-1 and Sopwith Pup of 1916 set the classic pattern followed by fighters for about 20 years. Most of the fighter planes were biplanes and only rarely monoplanes or triplanes.
Whoa, so the fighters are as good as their fighter planes?
Yes, to an extent. As collective combat experience grew, the more successful pilots like Oswald Belke, Max Immelmann, and Edward Manock devised tactical formations and maneuvers to improve their air unit's combat success.
Whoa! Tooting turbines! That's amazing!
With time, aircraft engines increased several-fold in power, going from a common 180 horsepower in the 1908 Fokker D7 to the 900 horsepower in the 1938 Curtiss P-36.
Woohoo!
Good golly!
World War II featured fighter combat on a larger scale than any other conflict to date, and fighter plane designs varied extensively among nations. Examples include the Italian Mach-E MC-200 and Fiat G50, and the Japanese Nakajima Ki-27 and Nakajima Ki-43.
Cool skies!
Fighter technology quickly advanced during World War II. Piston engines, which powered most of the World War II fighters, became more powerful. At the start, warplanes usually had engines powered by 1,000 horsepower and 1,400 horsepower engines, but by the end of the war, many could produce over 2,000 horsepower. For instance, the Spitfire, which was in production all throughout the war, was in 1939 powered by a 1,030 horsepower Merlin II, while variants produced in 1945 produced 2,035 horsepower, powered by Griffon 61 engines.
Who flew the first fighter plane and when?
The first fighter plane was developed by a French pilot, Roland Garros, in 1915, who flew an airplane armed with a machine gun that fired through its propeller during World War I. Garros became a national hero and had a total of 5 enemy kills in the air.
Hey, Gumdrop! I think we just found out the answer to Commander Airhead's Who Flew question!
You're right, Vroomer. The record goes to French pilot Roland Garros.
Ah, congratulations on finding the answer to this mission's Who Flew question, Winged Scouts. Commander Airhead will be proud of you. No pistons about it.
Fantastic work, Winged Scouts! Your mission was a great success! You're well on your way to plane enlightenment.
Vroom, vroom! Awesome!
Say, were you able to find the answer to this mission's Who Flew question?
Yes, Commander Airhead, we sure did.
The record goes to French pilot Roland Garros.
The first fighter plane was developed by a French pilot, Roland Garros, in 1915 during World War I.
Ah, that's great! Good job, Winged Scouts!
What's our next mission, Commander Airhead?
Your next mission is going to be your most incredible yet. We want you to learn about supersonic jets and the sound barrier.
Supersonic jets and the sound barrier? Wow, cool!
For all the bumpy flights, can't wait to get started.
Yay! Wing Scouts ready to fly, Commander Airhead.
Winged Scouts!
Vroom, vroom!
Hooray!
I can't wait till next time. I'm supersonic serious.
My wings are all aflutter.
You two little planes are rapidly soaring to the very pinnacle of our knowledge. And today we have another chance to expand those revving brains. Your mission, Gumdrop and Vroomer, is to discover all about the most fascinating machine of all.
Planes!
Planes!
Exactly! You will travel all over the world, across time, space, and beyond. You must keep your little metal noses pointed ahead, your motors humming, and your wings perked at all times. We depend on you to do the best job possible. Are you ready for your assignment?
My brain's frontal lobe is spinning like a propeller.
Your brain's frontal lobe is a propeller.
Plane Scouts ready for our mission, Commander Airhead.
This is sure to be a challenging mission, little ones.
Bring it on.
No cloud is too dark for us to find the sunshine or the answers.
I'm sending you two on a mission to learn about supersonic jets and the sound barrier.
Supersonic jets and the sound barrier? No way! Totally awesome!
Can't wait.
It's up to you to learn all about it and report back to me with what you've discovered.
Turbo takeoffs will do it.
This is going to be an incredible adventure.
What can you tell us about the supersonic jets and the sound barrier, Commander Airhead?
Supersonic jets are planes that can fly up to 5 times the speed of sound. 760 miles per hour is the speed of sound. It's also called Mach 1. Planes in this regime have specially designed high-performance engines that can break the sound barrier. They are also designed with lightweight materials to provide less drag.
Wow, I can't wait to find out more.
Supersonic jets and the sound barrier? Sounds absolutely amazing!
As you know, Vroomer and Gumdrop, as part of the mission, you must find out and learn tons of amazing facts about airplanes.
Yes, Commander Airhead.
Vroom, vroom. We will.
Excellent. You must also know that there is a question that all the brightest flying minds all over the world's skies have not been able to answer about supersonic jets and the sound barrier. We need you two winged scouts to help us answer the who flew question about supersonic jets and the sound barrier.
Who flew question? Love it! What is the question, Commander Airhead?
What is the first jet and who is the first person to break the speed of sound?
That's a great question, Commander Airhead.
We'll land the answer in a spin of a propeller, I'm sure.
I will assign you the best winged scout helper in the world. His name is Willie Widget. He's a robotic encyclopedia of aircraft knowledge. He will assist you on your mission.
Bring on our third brain.
Let's have our Willy Widget!
Be sure to ask a lot of questions, winged scouts. You know, nothing's too hard for Willie.
Yay! Wing Scouts ready to fly, Commander Airhead.
Winged Scouts!
Vroom, vroom!
Hooray!
Winged Scouts, ready to get started on your next adventure?
Yes, super ready.
Totally ready!
Remember, Winged Scouts, any and all questions you may have, I'm here to answer them.
Where do we begin?
In the 1960s and 70s, many design studies for supersonic airliners were done. and eventually 2 types entered service: the Anglo-French Concorde and the Russian Tupolev Tu-144. However, climactic and political and economic impediments and one fatal Concorde crash prevented them from being used to their full commercial potential, and these aircraft are no longer flying. The majority of supersonic jets are military or experimental planes.
Whoa!
The sound barrier, also called a sonic barrier, is a popular term that refers to the sudden increase in aerodynamic drag and other effects experienced by a jet or other object when it approaches supersonic speed. The sound barrier is reached when an object moves at a speed of 343 meters per second.
Yeah!
The Germans, French, British, and other fighter pilots who fought during World War II were the first to experience the sound barrier when a number of aircraft started to encounter the effects of compressibility, a number of unrelated aerodynamic effects that struck their aircraft, thereby blocking further acceleration. By the 1950s, new aircraft designs regularly broke the sound barrier.
What are early claims of the sound barrier like?
In 1942, in one of the earliest claims, the Republic Aviation issued a press release stating that Lieutenants Harold E. Comstock and Roger Dyer had exceeded the speed of sound during test dives in the P-47 Thunderbolt. It is widely agreed that this was due to inaccurate ASI readings. For in similar tests, the North American P-51 Mustang, a higher performance aircraft, demonstrated limits at Mach 0.85, with some high speeds causing the aircraft to be damaged by vibration.
Incredible! Hit my plane brain with more cool factoids, Willie!
On the 1st of March, 1945, the Luftwaffe test pilot, Lothar Sieber, may have accidentally become the first man to break the sound barrier. This occurred while he was piloting a Bachem Ba 349 Natter for the first manned vertical takeoff of a rocket in history. In 55 seconds, he traveled a total of 14 kilometers, or 8.7 miles. Unfortunately, the aircraft crashed, and he didn't survive. But the precedent was set.
Oh, whoa.
In 1942, the United Kingdom's Ministry of Aviation began a top-secret project with Miles Aircraft to develop the world's first aircraft capable of breaking the sound barrier. The prototype Miles M52 turbojet-powered aircraft was designed to reach 1,000 miles per hour, over twice the existing speed record, in level flight, and to climb to an altitude of 36,000 feet in 1 minute and 30 seconds. But the project was eventually canceled.
Very interesting!
Turbo tricky.
Are there any other important figures in supersonic jet flying, Willie?
History is littered with important pilots, engineers, mechanics, designers, and generals who all helped forward the cause and the mission of supersonic flight. Perhaps none as well known as former Air Force General and world-famous test pilot Chuck Yeager.
Whoa, Chuck Yeager?
Chuck Yeager sounds like one heck of a pilot, was he?
Very good question, Vroomer. He sure was. From his humble beginnings as a private in World War II, Chuck Yeager went on to be a test pilot for many different types of aircraft, including experimental rocket-powered aircraft. All told, Mr. Yeager's flying career spanned over 60 amazing years.
Geez, makes me proud to be a plane. Did Chuck Yeager ever crash a plane?
Yes, he did. Chuck Yeager lost control of a plane called the Bell X-1A due to the barely understood phenomenon of inertia coupling. The X-1A dropped from maximum altitude to 25,000 feet, during which Yeager broke the canopy with his helmet before regaining control, only due to his super strong skills as an aviator.
Whoa! What is inertia coupling?
Inertia coupling is common with single-engine jet fighter aircraft and occurs when an aircraft is quickly put into a roll, resulting in violent pitching and yawing and loss of control as the aircraft rotates on all three axes.
Whoa! Tooting turbines! That's incredible!
Inertia coupling nearly killed Chuck Yeager in the X-1A in 1953, and it did kill pilot Captain Mel Apt in his first flight in the rocket-powered Bell X-2 on September 27, 1956.
Inertia coupling craziness.
Wow, this flying business sure can be dangerous.
For aircraft speeds which are greater than the speed of sound, the aircraft is said to be supersonic. Typical speeds for supersonic aircraft are greater than 750 miles per hour, but less than 1,500 miles per hour. And the Mach number, M, is greater than 1, as in Mach 1, Mach 2, or Mach 3.
Cool skies.
Subsequent experimental supersonic jets were built after the Bell X-1A proved that humans could fly supersonically. The aerodynamics of these early aircraft is used on modern supersonic fighter aircraft. There have been several efforts to develop cost-effective supersonic airliners. The Russian Tu-144 and the Anglo-French Concorde went into service in the early 1970s, but were financial failures.
What is the first jet and who is the first person to break the speed of sound?
The Bell X-1 on 14 October 1947 became the first aircraft to break the speed of sound. It was piloted by none other than Air Force Captain Chuck Yeager, who also became the very first pilot to break the speed of sound.
Hey, Gumdrop! I think we just found out the answer to Commander Airhead's Who Flew question!
You're right, Vroomer. The Bell X-1 holds the record for first jet to break the speed of sound, and Captain Chuck Yeager was its pilot.
Congratulations on finding the answer to this mission's Who Flew question, Winged Scouts! Commander Airhead will be proud of you. No engines about it.
Fantastic work, Winged Scouts! Your mission was a great success! You're well on your way to becoming our most heightened and enlightened planes!
Vroom vroom! Awesome!
Say, were you able to find the answer to this mission's Who Flew question?
Yes, Commander Airhead, we sure did.
The Bell X-1 holds the record for first jet to break the speed of sound.
Yes, on the 14th of October 1947, the Bell X-1 became the first aircraft to break the speed of sound. It was piloted by Air Force Captain Chuck Yeager, who also became the very first pilot to break the speed of sound.
That's great! Good job, Winged Scouts!
What's our next mission, Commander Airhead?
Your next mission is going to be your most incredible yet. We want you to learn about modern jets.
Modern jets? Super cool!
For all the bumpy flights, can't wait.
Yay! Winged Scouts ready to fly, Commander Airhead!
Winged Scouts,
Vroom, vroom!
hooray!
I can't wait to get started!
Me neither. This is gonna be fun.
Gumdrop, Vroomer, I can't begin to tell you how much your dedication to learning impresses us all. With that in mind, today will be one of your biggest tests. Your mission, Gumdrop and Vroomer, is to discover all about the most fascinating machine of all.
Planes!
Planes!
Exactly! Haha, you will travel all over the world, across time and space and beyond. You must keep your little metal noses pointed ahead, your motors humming, and your wings perked at all times. We depend on you to do the best job possible. Are you ready for your assignment?
Mach 5 knowledge?
Let's get it!
Plane Scouts ready for our mission, Commander Airhead.
This is sure to be a challenging mission, little ones.
Ooh, tell me more. I love challenging missions.
Sound barrier brain blast! Me too!
I'm sending you two on a mission to learn about modern jets.
Modern jets? How cool.
Can't wait!
It's up to you to learn all about it and report back to me with what you have discovered.
Flapping fun wings.
This is going to be an incredible adventure!
What can you tell us about the modern jets, Commander Airhead?
Well, the first jets were built over 1,000 years ago. And over that time, during times of war and in between, there has been tremendous breakthrough in the manufacturing of both commercial and fighter jets. Numerous tests and modifications have led to what we know as modern jets today.
Wow! I can't wait to find out more!
Modern jets sounds absolutely amazing.
As you know, Vroomer and Gumdrop, to be all you can be, you must find out and learn tons of amazing facts about airplanes.
Yes, Commander Airhead.
Vroom, vroom! We will!
Excellent! You must also know there is a question that all the brightest flying minds all over the world's skies have not been able to answer about modern jets. We need you two winged scouts to help us answer the who flew question about modern jets.
Who flew question? Love it. What is the question, Commander Airhead?
What is the fastest modern jet? And what is its maximum speed?
That's a great question, Commander Airhead.
We'll land the answer in a spin of a propeller, I'm sure!
I will assign you the best winged scout helper in the world. His name is Willie Widget. He's a robotic encyclopedia of aircraft knowledge. He will assist you on your mission.
Our bot.
It's always sunny skies with old Willie Widget!
Be sure to ask a lot of questions, winged scouts. As always, Willie knows it all.
Yay! Winged Scouts, ready to fly, Commander Airhead!
Winged Scouts.
Vroom, 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 vroom.
Hooray!
Winged Scouts! Ready to get started on your next adventure?
Yes, super ready.
Is the sky blue?
Remember, Winged Scouts, any and all questions you have, I'm here to answer them.
Where do we begin?
More than 100 years ago, Orville and Wilbur Wright taught mankind how to fly, and ever since then there has been replications, improvements, and modifications that have seen jets do numerous feats once considered impossible. The first jet to break the speed of sound, the Bell X-1, piloted by Charles Yeager in 1947, set the pace, and ever since then, others have followed.
Whoa!
To see some of the latest in modern fifth-generation jets, we will have to travel across the world to many countries. Wings up! Let's go have some fun!
Yeah!
In Russia, there have been some tremendous breakthroughs with the fourth-generation jet fighters, Mikoyan MiG-29 and Sukhoi Su-27. But recently, they have developed the fifth-generation Sukhoi Su-35, which is an improvement on the Su-27 and belongs on the top 10 modern jets of the century. There's also a new Sukhoi Pak-FA, stealthy superior airfighter jet being developed.
Say, what's the maximum speed of the Sukhoi Su-35?
The Sukhoi Su-35 has a maximum speed at altitude of 2,410 kilometers per hour, or Mach 2.25.
Incredible! Hit my plane brain with more cool info, Willy Widget.
By late 2010, China designed 2 prototypes of the Chengdu J-20 and began high-speed taxi trials. The J-20 made its first flight in January 2011. In December 2015, a new J-20 with serial number 2101 was seen leaving its Chengdu Aviation Corporation factory. It is believed to be the first of the low-rate initial production aircraft. The 2101 conducted its maiden flight in January 2016.
Blasting engines, that's amazing!
There were rumors of a possible prototype of the F-60, named the Xi'an J-31, which was later launched and made its maiden flight in October 2012.
Very interesting.
What happened next, Willie?
Excellent question, Gumdrop. The United States has remained one of the leaders in building modern jets. They own some of the best modern jets, and their Lockheed Martin Boeing F-22 Raptor is the most superior jet ever produced and is almost invisible to radars. It carries a powerful array of weaponry and remains the most advanced and most expensive production fighter aircraft to date.
Whoa! Fun factoid! Are all the modern jets fighter jets?
That's a very good question, Vroomer. Not all the modern jets are fighter jets, as there are also some passenger jets. Passenger jets usually have 2 or 4 jet engines. 3-engine designs were popular in the 1970s, but are less common today.
Hi, flying factoid!
What were the first passenger jet planes ever made, Willie?
The first jet airliner was the British de Havilland Comet, which first flew in 1949. Also developed in 1949 was the Avro Canada C-102 jetliner, which sadly never reached production.
Whoa! Factoid cooler than icicles on my propellers after an icy flight.
What are some of the newest modern passenger jets, Willy Widget?
Excellent question, Vroomer. The French Airbus A350 XWB and the American Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner are currently perhaps the 2 most advanced passenger jets in the world and are still in production.
Are all passenger jets capable of supersonic flight, Willy Widget?
Very good question, Vroomer. I see you are keeping a keen mind. No jet airliner, other than the Concorde, is capable of supersonic flight.
Is the Concorde still operational today?
No, Gumdrop. The Aeropostale BAC Concorde discontinued operations in 2003.
Whoa! How was the Concorde powered?
The Concorde was powered with the Olympus 320 turbojet, a development of the Bristol engine first used for the Avro Vulcan bomber.
Whoa! Hooting, tooting turbines! Those are some cool terms!
Many countries such as China, Japan, Russia, France, United States, and the UK are all making efforts toward developing 6th generation jets, which will be the future of the modern world. Some of these jets include the Russian Mikoyan MiG-41, the Japanese Mitsubishi X2 Shinshin, and lots more.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Recently, Lockheed Martin engineers have developed a box wing concept to find new ways to reduce fuel burn without abandoning the basic shape of current aircraft. Adapting the lightweight materials found in the F-22 and F-35 fighter jets, they designed a looped wing configuration that would increase the lift-to-drag ratio by 16%. Making it possible to fly further using less fuel while still fitting into airport gates.
Cool skies!
The first era of commercial supersonic transportation ended on November 26, 2003, with the final flight of that Concorde I mentioned, a noisy, inefficient, and high-polluting aircraft. But the dream of a sub-3-hour cross-country flight lingered, and in 2010, designers at Lockheed Martin presented the Mach 1.6 Supersonic Green Machine. The plane's variable cycle engines improved efficiency by switching to conventional turbofan mode during takeoff and landing. Combustors built into the engine would reduce nitrogen oxide pollution by 75%.
What is the faster modern jet? And what is its maximum speed?
The rocket-powered X-15 holds the official world record for the fastest speed ever reached by a manned aircraft, Mach 6.72, which is 6.72 times the speed of sound, or 4,520 miles per hour.
Hey, Gumdrop, I think we just found the answer to Commander Airhead's Who Flew question.
You're right, Rumor. The record goes to the X-15 aircraft.
Congratulations on finding the answer to this mission's Who Flew question, Winged Scouts. Commander Airhead will be proud of you. No pistons about it.
Fantastic work, Winged Scouts! Your mission was a great success! Like always, you two never let us down.
Until it's time to land, right?
Say, were you able to find the answer to this mission's Who Flew question?
Yes, Commander Airhead, we sure did.
The official record goes to the rocket-powered X-15 for the fastest speed ever reached by a manned aircraft.
The fastest modern jet is the rocket-powered X-15 with a speed of Mach 6.72, which is 6.72 times the speed of sound, or 5,520 miles per hour.
That's great! Good job, Winged Scouts.
What's our next mission, Commander Airhead?
Your next mission is going to be your most incredible yet. We want you to learn about the world's fastest jets.
The world's fastest jets? Wow, cool!
For all the bumpy flights, can't wait to get started.
Yay! Winged Scouts ready to fly, Commander Airhead.
Winged Scouts?
Vroom, vroom!
Hooray!
You know, I'm pretty fast myself, if I do say so.
But you're not the world's fast, Rumor.
You guys are still young. There's always time for growth, Winged Scouts.
I was just sitting up in my tree, in my tree, in my tree. I saw a beautiful face was looking up at me, up at me, up at me. Oh, she had a cute smile, so I asked her name, asked her name, asked her name. The only other talking since you felt the same, and you felt the same, felt the same. Well, every time I see her, I do my thing. Well, now she's moving south, it's where she wants to be. Where she wants to be.